I know why you clicked on this video. You want answers. Can you beat Zenlezz Zone Zero with only one character? That means no more than one character per mission and no bang boos either. We respect bang boo rights and count them as characters. Another thing, this is my first time playing through the game, which will make things that much more fun. The game starts with a comic book intro and some sick ass animations before giving me my first character. Anubis Damara. We go through a little tutorial telling me how to left click and press E. I don't know where I would be without it. And then we meet Billiam the Child. I can use his government because we're tight like that.
Question. Who would you most like to have dinner with?
Oh, it's gotta be Jay-Z. I'd even pay 500k for it, that's all I'm saying. And this is where we run into our first roadblock. I'm forced to have two characters in my party. Challenge over. I wouldn't be making this video if that was actually the case. To be faithful to the challenge, whenever I am in a mission which forces me to have multiple characters in my squad, I have to use the first character I spawn in on. And outside of this tutorial section where I'm forced to learn about all these days and chain attacks and switches and assists, the rules are simple. I can't use any of the switch moves or swap characters, and if I ever do use them accidentally, I have to restart the fight instantly. Pretty fair if you ask me, says the guy in charge of the rules. I very pathetically beat up this first pseudo boss, which is still technically part of the tutorial, and move on to the game proper. But before I can start my first mission, I'm given a choice: casual mode or challenge mode. And I don't know why I'm trying to make a big deal out of this. Obviously we pick challenge mode. The word is literally in the title.
Okay. Right, little one. Off you go then.
Yes, mommy. On my way to commit a murder. Hey, yo, who gave me a bomb? Now remember when I said every time I use any of the switch moves I have to restart? Here's a montage. Credit where it's due. The combat is designed quite well. It's very intuitive and flows super well with each other. Too well! To the point it is, no joke, mechanically harder to play the game on optimally. Every time a switch move comes up, I need to cancel it by pressing middle mouse, and since I'm still learning the game, it's hard to gauge when they will pop up at times. And I'm also like haha hee 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 spamming left click, big punch, no brain. So it's partly my fault. Well, what do I mean partly my fault? It's 100% my fault. No one else is playing the game for me, are they? I'm gonna skip a lot of this tutorial stuff where it just explains the game to me and skip to more interesting gameplay. But first, there is a dog selling motherfucking scratch cards. That has to be illegal. If there was a dog whose whole job was to enable my gambling, I would have a severe gambling addiction. I'm not joking.
Say, what you saying, huh?
I got some mail, and the inhumane bastard over at DPD shoved a little girl in my mailbox. Corin Wicks. This little girl is the GOAT. I'll start using her more after chapter 1 and she's gonna be carrying my ass through this game, and I'll explain why she's so good for this challenge specifically when that comes up. I'm just doing a little Chekhov's gooning right now. And of course, this is a gacha game, so I did some gacha gaming. My first 10 pull, I got a bunch of W's in the chat engines, which are essentially this game's version of weapons, and a second copy of Anubis. Pulling duplicates of characters makes them stronger up to 6 times, and this process is called Absolute Cinema. I respect the name, and I respect the reward, which gives you a naked picture of the character if you get all 6. And I looked them up and oh my lord.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
I do not know who Grace is, but she has her whole grippers out. Just like that. I was about to say for free, but it will cost you a lot of money to actually get them grippers. So very much not for free, but still? Kinda cringe that Ben Bigger gets no fan service at all. Come on guys, as a Baldur's Gate 3 player, I wanna see that bear naked. I think I'm getting very distracted from the challenge challenge. I was given some commissions to do, so let's do them. I leveled up Nicole Demara to level 4, because that's all my bro cars could afford. I had to fight a couple waves of monsters with a mini boss at the end. And since I can't use switch attacks or other characters, what can I even do? I can auto attack, I can use skills, and I can use ultimates. But I also have one more special thing in my arsenal. Dodge counters. You get access to a very typical dodge roll. You press the button, dash forward a little and get some invulnerability frames. But there is also a mechanic called the perfect dodge. If you perfect dodge an attack, e.g. dodge at the last second, you can perform a dodge counter which does significant damage and gives you even more invulnerability frames during the attack. It's very akin to parrying in other games. There's no cooldown on these attacks either, so you can consistently use them for more DPS and more survivability. This entire run basically relies on them, so I'm always looking for characters with good dodge counters because, let me tell you, they are for sure not all made equally. And oh my god, that was very fucking close. Not clean at all, not pretty, not very demure, dirty and ugly in fact, but hey, got the job done. Nicole and the gang show up in my parking lot and tell me it is story time. So I lock in a level 10 Nicole and begin fighting my way through the hollow. You'll see a lot of Nicole early game because she has range, which means mistakes are harder to punish and helps me learn the game. And it helps a lot that a lot of these early fights are weak to ethereal, which is an extra 20% DPS that I will not refuse. The goal of this mission is to navigate the hollow and find a strongbox guarded by a Dullahan, which is my first proper story boss encounter. As always, we gotta start off with killing a few waves of pissed enemies and then...
I didn't disconnect. I got kicked off. The connection between the HDD and the hollow was severed.
Oh no, that's not good. Try turning it off and back on again.
There's one more thing we can try. Reset it! Haven't you heard the saying? Turning it off and back on again can fix anything.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought you'd never figure it out. Face it, as you can see, the system is mine now.
And this is where I'll cut the story off because this was some crime, drama, soap opera level of writing for this hacking scene. It's just so goofy and dumb. Like if your protagonist is supposed to be some under the net tech whiz, I would expect some more interesting hacking writing, but it is a silly game with silly writing, so I wouldn't get too mad at it. But I'm not gonna lie, when White just kept saying, oh, run a debugger, and I'm running another debugger now.
Start a debug now.
What are we debugging, buddy? I don't think the hacker who completely hijacked your entire system and is actively talking to you is a bug in your code, my guy. That seems like a whole different issue. But then a few fire resets because I can't stop myself from chain attacking later.
Don't you remember? Public security's policy? If you report a proxy, they may expunge your record.
As things stand, Billy's proposal is quite feasible. Trade the proxy's identity for our safety, or continue pacing around waiting for the Bangbu to return to normal.
Wait, hold up. Billy, you snaking son of a bitch! You Judas-faced bastard!
Enough chatter. We can't stay here any longer. Let's go!
Thank God Nicole is a real one. That's a real homie, unlike some people.
This isn't over. You'll pay.
Oh, I guess that's over now.
Found it.
Whoa, it's our lucky day!
That's my strongbox!
Damn, nice heals, queen. Slay. But unfortunately, you're the one being slayed today, Dullahan. Oh, okay, I lied. Maybe it's me who's getting slayed. Lower difficulty and try again? What is this, brother? Brother, yuck, brother, huck. Who do you think I am? Now, if you're running it back proper, let's go. Hey, that wasn't too bad. As a great dodgeball player once said, if you can dodge a sword, you can dodge a shield. Don't quote me. I took a microplastics chip, probably absorbed it in my bang balls, and went Super Saiyan, I guess? Signed a blind contract with the Cyber Devil and kept it pushing like P. Diddy. I can't say P. Diddy anymore? I know he's an awful person, but everyone kinda accepts it and doesn't really care, no? He did what? Okay, scrap that last joke. Welcome Fairy to the squad. I like Fairy. I like Fairy because she makes fun of Wise, and I hate Wise.
I don't understand real girls, let alone virtual ones.
This is exactly what I mean, bro. He does this type of loser shit bi-sentencely and you expect me to like him? And this is where the game introduces me to a colourful cast of 6 street characters. Asha, Tin Master, the Corner Shop Triad, Inky, Android 18, damn she looks different to how I remember, my favourite British rapper Hetty, and Shepherd, our dear informant, commonly mistaken for Dogs and Prophets. I do a couple commissions and try out Luciana, who's quite fun to play and she summons a bunch of little guys, and I'm always a fan of little guys.
A beautiful shooting star!
Let's just try and get along with Barry for now.
Get along? She's constantly rude to me.
Yep, and that's why she's my goat. Keep 'em coming, Fairy.
Don't believe that hypocrite! He's lying! You don't have to worry about me. My name is Nicole. Nicole told me to come. I'm not a baddie.
I don't know, gang. A pedophile might disagree with you on that one.
Processing Bangbu visual data for the last several days. Please say, I'm stupid. I should have asked sooner.
That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Billy, do you really have a cold? If you hadn't sneezed earlier and exposed our position, we wouldn't have been forced to split up.
The machine oil I'm using now has low fluidity in the cold, so some of my gears are starting to run slow.
You're cold because I bet you weren't wearing enough last night while watching Oh, Sweetie.
What do you mean by that?
Boss, you alright? Oh, that's our boss for you!
Damn, I respect Billy's excitement for the boss. That's a hashtag real goon right there. And once again, the story forces me to use more than one character, so you already know the drill. First character I spawn in only, and if I ever use anything I'm not supposed to, it's reset a clock. Right now I get to play as Nyakomata, the current protagonist of the story. Her gameplay is quite fun, but her whole shtick is that she revolves around switch attacks, which means it's a no for me. While we're on the topic of Nyakomata, she is an S-rank character, and S-rank characters are usually just simply better than A-ranks because MiHoYo wants to make money. That doesn't mean you can't beat the game without them. Honestly, you very easily can. On a new account, you get a special banner that guarantees you a 5-star in the first 50 pulls, which I will reach relatively soon, so let's talk about the 5 stars available to me. In order of most wanted to least wanted, we have Soldier 11, Nekomata, Rina, Grace, Kaleda, and Lee Kyon. For the sake of this challenge, there are only 2 types of specialities: attack and everything else. So gang, an S-rank DPS is very ideal. Soldier 11 synergizes well with dodge counters, so she is very biz for this run. But Nekomata is also good, simply because she's a 5-star DPS. Stun characters just do the least damage, and the utility they provide is not useful to a guy like me. So Kaleda and Lee Kyon are the lowest priority. Oh, right on cue. Let's see what we get here.
May you forgive this transgression. The devotion.
And of course, I get the worst possible character. Typical. On the brighter side of things, he still is an S rank, so he must be good. Right? Right? Guys, I'm really not enjoying the silence you're giving me right now. Please tell me he's at least a little good. Foreshadowing. On an actually brighter side, I unlocked the material farming place and was able to level Nicole to level 20, which should help out quite a lot in the upcoming fights. Oh, sorry, let me get the door real quick, I'll be right back.
I'm back! Sorry it took so long. My carrot would only navigate to the other exit farther away.
Stop listening to the cat. Basically, we're heading back into the hollow because we always head back into the hollow.
Looks like the dead-end butcher has been here. We might come across it if we keep going.
The Dead-End Butcher, you say? Now that's a name that gets my balls tingling with excitement. I've been itching to fight a proper boss for some time now. I have to battle through a few baby enemy missions, which actually go by pretty quickly with Nicole, since she can AoE quite well and from range, so you end up hitting enemies you wouldn't even think you would actually hit.
A pretty risky, but cool landing. Nicole!
I hear you! I've barely been sitting on you for a minute. Stop complaining.
Ha 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 ha. A real one like me would not be complaining in this scenario. That's all I gotta say.
It should have been me, not him!
That's some real shit you just said, Ambi. I feel your pain, gang. I feel your pain! And this mission is where I learn you can actually disable trial mode characters and use your own, which will make my life so much more easier going forward. Albeit, it does not work in every single mission, but it's a massive stress relief in most, since when I have extra characters, I'm constantly on edge about pressing the many switch moves and starting again. But this option lets me press my buttons in peace. Bliss. And it also prevents synergies from activating, which is another mechanic in the game that gives you passive buffs from using agents of either the same type or from the same faction. So that means that even if I don't switch characters, if I have the characters activating those buffs in my team, I am technically cheating. And I am trying to solve the game as much as the game will possibly allow me to. I'm as faithful to this challenge as Shadow is faithful to Latinas. Un amoureux d'étranger. Had to be up this clanker with a hard R of course, and call me Marvin Gaye the way I have no idea what's going on. The cat went on a suicide mission after a backstory revealing speech, and now we need to blow up the dead-end butcher to save everyone? Whatever you say, boss, as long as you let me fight that overgrown me inspector, I'm in.
Huh? The beasties are running away.
Almost here.
The monster?
The theme song.
What?
The bad guy's theme always plays before the final battle.
Don't worry, Ambi. I've mastered all the rules for a surefire win from the Starlight Knights. Gotta break the rules when fighting bad guys. Take them out in less than 10 seconds with a flying kick. They won't even have time to play their theme song.
Behind you.
You big dummy! The only thing they'd be playing for you are the credits!
Don't tell me this guy's a fan of the Starlight Knights too!
Let's go, big guy. Me and you in the Pentagon. Man on man, overgrown rock monster and little enemy girl. Let's go. And I lost. Guess I'm not a hashtag real gamer. But let's talk about the fight. It's relatively simple. Learn the boss attack patterns and try to perfect dodge and dodge counter for maximum damage as often as possible. Nicole's skill has a lot of range, so I try to use it in moments where the boss is going to stay stationary for a little bit, so it ends up soaking in the explosion for the entire duration. And also when I'm spaced out of the boss's melee range. Sometimes both at the same time when he uses his axe into the ground, boom, big explosion move. But of course, use your skill when you're about to be energy capped for efficiency, and try to stay as close to the boss as possible, since ranged basic attacks do have damage drop off the further away from the boss you are. So range is very nice to have, but but you still gotta melee gaming most of the fight for maximum damage. And this is where someone walked into my room and distracted me. I had to go do something, so I ended up losing the second attempt. But it always takes 3 times to leave them charmed, or however that saying goes.
How you feeling? We got a surprise for ya.
Oh my god, is that a motherfucking Honkai Star Rail reference? Holy shit, yo!
Leave it to me!
Critical voltage in 4. 3.
Hurry.
2. 1. 0.
Huh? Nothing's happening?
New countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1 now.
That was pretty gosh darn cool. And we are going buffet after this? Count me in. So, is this the end of the video? Oh no, you're stuck with me for a little while longer. Please don't click off. There's still a few fun things left to do before we can move on to chapter 2 in the next video. The most important thing that I did was take a selfie with a sleepy doggo. Look at this little boy. Followed by the second most important thing, which is doing my best Ankara Messi impression. And a bunch of other miscellaneous side quests until I unlocked Hollow Zero, which is this game's roguelike mode. But my informant has informed me that there is a special Hollow Zero only boss that, combined with the fun power building nature of roguelikes and my love for the genre, means only one thing. I will make a dedicated episode to tracking down Nivea, because I really need a fucking shower. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves here. I still need to beat the mission to unlock Hollow Zero in the first place. So I took my freshly leveled Corrin and jumped right into an ass beater. Which made me realize I didn't level Corrin nearly as hard as I should have, and me and Nicole went level up material hunting. I got Corrin up to level 20 and actually gave her a W's in the chat drive and leveled that thing to level 10 as well. A secret mechanic in the game that some people might not know about, I don't know. I stumbled upon this info completely accidentally. Is that as the level gap between your characters and the enemy increases, you start doing exponentially less and less damage, and the drop off is very drastic and very quick. So that's why trying to beat the game under leveled is not super viable. I obviously could do it, and at times I wanted to try and see how weak I could be while beating the game, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to spend 27 minutes per mini-boss. And I'm very glad that I quit and leveled Corrin, because once you beat this dog, you have to face the wrath of Anubis. Well, first you get to watch the sick cutscene of Miyabi Sakura hitting Nivea with the super Amidamau slash. Oh yeah, and that's the Nivea I was talking about, by the way. That's who I'm going to be hunting down once the game actually lets me and stops time gating the story, but that's a complaint for a future installment. Oh, almost forgot. Back to Anubis. You fight some little guys, then you fight this claw fella. It's alright, nothing too bad, but then this fucker shows up. This instant transmissioning Legolas wannabe. I fought a couple of these guys before, but they were all scaled way lower and in smaller arenas, so they had a lot less space to zip around in. I died here. And then I died more. Like, a lot more. Oh, also you have to beat the whole gauntlet every time you want to re-challenge it too, so that was fun. The main problem is there is a lot of space around me for the boss to TP around in, and if the boss isn't in your direct vision, you don't actually get sound cues for dodging. The boss also attacks very quickly with certain combos that the only way for me to completely dodge everything is to perfect dodge and counter. I got my ass beat a few times actually, but eventually I figured this guy out a little. My general strat was perfect dodge as much as you can and save your skill to take less damage from attacks. I was basically ass at dodging. Corin's skill makes her take less damage while spinning a chainsaw, so if I just tank the hit with the skill, I end up taking less damage and preserving my health. Listen, it may not be the cleanest, no damage, perfect parry gamer god way out, but it got the job done. I'm not super excited about how I'm editing every fight with less than 10 HP though. That does not look good for my chances in the future. However, there is no point talking about the future before I secure my own by marching through this madness. My first part of the Proxy rank up test. A gauntlet of enemies which need to be defeated in order to level up my Proxy status and get access to a lot more cool stuff. The first wave is relatively simple, a couple of trash mobs and a traffic sign mini boss. Pretty simple moveset and I should come out of this without losing much HP, but I ended up losing a lot more than I would really like. Then it's a 1v1 with the Hulk dude. Another simple boss, but there's some really fun optimizations you can do by comboing your dodge counters while he's charging at you while slamming down his fist. Boom 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 boom. Unless you suck ass like a certain narrator over here and get hit by half of them. Life's still good though because you get some HP back, and after killing him, now I have to fight the same dog that beat my ass straight into a training montage earlier. The fight was honestly going pretty well until I guess I gotta lock the fuck in now. Locking in worked until it didn't. Then I see this thing on my screen, I press it, and I win. I'm obviously happy I didn't have to restart the whole fight, but it didn't really feel like I won. I feel like I cheated. I personally won't be using the rewinds thing again in these rank up missions. There is something about the adrenaline of the gauntlet that really gets me excited, and the rewinds ruin the thrill of battle for me. I unlock disc drives, which are relics you can farm and put on your W drives that give set buffs and a bunch of other stats. They will become more and more important the further this challenge progresses, and then I once again get stuck in a loop of side quest upon side quest upon side quest until I finally unlock Chapter 2. Chapter 1 was quite fun, but things are really about to heat up on all fronts in Chapter 2, and I thoroughly hope to see you there, my fellow proxies. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, maybe a sub for that next one, and most of all, hope you enjoyed the a lot of minutes you spent here, because I already know this is going to be one long ass video. Peace.